Hi everybody, guess what? Got another tent. And this tent has probably got to be the smallest one I've ever purchased. There you go. Not necessarily the smallest packed, but I think it'll be the smallest pitched. Looks to be about 760 on mass scale at the moment, but that might be a change in pegs or anything else that's in there. But hey, it's still light. So it's two skin, inner and an outer, 6.6 nylon, so very thin but strong sil nylon. And carbon poled, I believe. I'll just get a look at these. This is the main pole, which you'll see is kind of unusual because it's like a cantilever. Check out this somewhat medieval spike in the middle, which I think goes into the ground. Fairly chunky diameter. They look to be about 9+ millimeter, I would say. And then two carbon end poles as well, all made by Yunnan. So I can't be certain if this is the original pegs that came with the tent, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think that's 7 titanium hooks and a kind of standard, oh yeah, it is Vaude or Vaude, how would you describe that? A Y peg, aluminium Y peg, fairly chunky, fairly long. I guess that might be to support the main pole. No instructions that I can see, so we'll just have to play this by ear. Okay, the instructions are actually on the pole bag. I'd imagine it should be pretty straightforward. The inner's already attached, which is great. Very, very strong. Guy lines are thin, but they're very rigid. Anyway, let's get the thing up. Have we shot? The one thing that was a wee bit of a faff is the end poles, one's shorter and one is longer. I thought they were just universal, so I put them the wrong way around. But anyway, sorted that one out. This cantilever system with the pole is very weird. Check this out. What you've really got is a 1/2 to 2/3 of a pole bent like a fishing rod under stress and then guyed off here. So quite an unusual thing, and obviously designed to save weight. That and the combination of carbon poles just makes it so much more lighter. I don't think I've quite got this corner right. It looks like it might be touching the inner slightly, or nearly. I'll play around with that in a second. It's got one wee prop vent here, and the main door zip is a one-way one only, so it only opens from this bottom part. I think this can probably be pegged, or I know what you can do, you can put a pole in here and create a little awning, because as you can see, I doubt you'll be able to cook in here otherwise. And there seems to be an adjustable, some sort of slider here to adjust the internal floor space or vestibule space. I haven't quite worked out how that works yet. We'll get a look at that in a second. But for its age, it all looks in good condition, which is a bonus. Door's not the biggest in the world, but then the whole tent is not the biggest. It's almost part bivvy, part tent. So I wasn't really expecting much more. I read a few reviews on it, and I think this might be the Achilles heel. This could wear out and rip through because of the sheer tension. So what I'll probably do is just bolster this a wee bit with an extra bit of fabric over the top, or a patch or something. So that's a Thermarest Neo Air NXT. Inside, I've pushed it towards the head end with a few inches to spare, just to see how much foot room I've got, and there is probably about another 8 to 10 inches. There you go. So with an internal head height of only 75 centimetres, it's obviously going to be really tight. So you're kind of prone, you could probably cook in here when the weather's a bit bad. Pull this out and put the flash sheet, attach it to a walking pole, create a wee bit of an awning, and you could probably just about cook in here. But that's what I expected. I wasn't expecting anything more than that. It's not something you can comfortably sit up in for hours. It's not about that. It's really virtually almost like a bivvy tent. A wee bit like something similar to the Nordisk Lofoten range, where it's all about being very low profile and weather cheating and minimal weight. Plenty of foot room. I don't think my sleeping bag will touch, even with on top of the Thermarest. That's good. There's a wee bit more width just round about the hip area. Could probably do with it more round about the shoulders. It does feel a wee bit close to... It does feel a bit close to my head on the right hand side here just now. I don't know if you can see that. Let me hold it back. Yeah. It's a wee bit close to my face here on the right. Not terrible. And as you can see, there's a couple of vents, one at the head and one at the foot, and corresponding mesh on the outside of the fly sheet as well. So the vestibule, if you can call it that, runs the full length of the tent along the side, but as you can see from my selfie stick there, there's not an awful lot of depth in it. It's probably about a shoe's length. Let's see, one size 9 shoe. There you go. That's exactly pretty much the length at its widest point. So I think in terms of storing your pack, I would probably put it down below my feet, down here, which should work fine actually. I've now actually got over 1.5 feet in there. I think I could turn the pack sideways. There you go, you can see the pole, the cabin pole outside, the mesh vent with a hood over it, and the same on the inside. You can't access it from in here, but I don't think you'd need to. And you can see I've just got enough width for the normal NXT thermarest. And we've also got one little storage pocket in here. Just take your essentials, phone, etc. Above us here we have a lantern hook. And yeah, I mean, once you're lying down, it's actually okay. It's fine. It's minimalist. It's for like adventure racing, keeping your weight down. But actually what I do like about it is it feels very wind cheating and very strong. And I'm pleased with the condition of it after probably 5 or 6 years. Taping all looks good, materials all look good. There's quite a large mesh area above you here, but you're well out of the breeze, so you've got a good solid panel to about 2 feet up. And then just this for the ventilation in combination with the wee prop vent at the top should minimise condensation for such a small tent. But yeah, I can instantly feel the heat in here anyway. Yeah, your body temperature warm it up very quickly. Good to see it also has a wee snap buckle there to take the tension off the zip, but I'm a bit mystified as to why the cover for the zip is on the inside. Of course, you can always remove the inner to give yourself a bit more room, or just detach it for a while until you're sleeping. You can see the toggle and loop arrangement all the way around, pretty standard again. Right, lastly I'm going to put a walking pole up and a wee bit of guy line just to see if I can make a porch for cooking. That's the one last thing I want to try before I get out in this. It does feel bomber, and I've seen the wind tests on YouTube. Excellent performance all round, whether it's end on, side on. So let's get this propped up and have a look at that. The kind of idea they give you to put a wee awning up so as you can cook. That does make it a lot more feasible, assuming the weather can take it. Yeah, a bit of rain will be alright, a high wind with that, and I don't think that's going to stay up for too long. But yeah, that would give you a wee covered area to cook and just do a wee bit of housekeeping before you close up for the night. So yeah, generally I'm very impressed with the construction of it. It's taped inside despite being sill nylon, and I think it's sill on both sides, as I understand it. I think it's only 15D or 10D nylon, so fairly transparent as you can see. But yeah, very impressed with the construction. All the touch points, all the bits that need to be strong and where there's a lot of wear and tear, all seem pretty good. Bit mystified by this inner flap. Guy lines all seem to work really nicely. Very, very strong, very rigid kind of cord. I don't know what it is. Doesn't flex much. And the carbon fibre poles are top quality. I'm quite impressed actually, because I've never been that enamoured with Yunnan stuff, but these Yunnan poles look good. So there you go, a first look at this thing. I'm going to get it out this weekend, hopefully, and I'll report back once I've actually had a wee field trip in it. So thank you for watching. If you've got any questions on it, drop me a line. You're only going to get this second hand now. It's no longer in production, but it was an expensive tent when it came out, about 600 euros, and managed to pick this one up for about 150 quid. So hopefully a punt worthwhile. Cheers just now, folks.